Greetings, fellow Americans. Welcome to Fireside Chats, State of Our Nation. I am your host, Susanna Tanner, candidate for House of Representatives 2026 and President 2028. Well, the SNAP program is still not fully funded. Several states have began to disperse benefits this last week after a judge ordered that full funding should be administered to the program by last Friday. The USDA started to comply, and then a slap in the face to millions of Americans who rely on those benefits by Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown, who ordered that SNAP benefits could be halted. She opened the doors for SCOTUS to rule in favor of Donald Trump. Fortunately, some states had already issued full benefits. Well, I'm not really sure that's fortunate. Some of it's fortunate. Sometimes you can think of it as fortunate, and sometimes you can think of it as not. There's many aspects to that, but the next headline hit my notifications. Trump admin demands states undo full SNAP benefits payouts as states warn of catastrophic impact. Halting SNAP benefits puts millions at risk of starvation here in the United States. We have seen the results of starvation in various parts of the world. There is currently starvation in the Gaza Strip. I have to believe that there is no one that wants this to happen, especially here. So, since the federal government refuses to use our taxpayer dollars to fund the SNAP program for immediate needs, each state should get the consent of their people to withhold taxpayer dollars from the federal government to fund each state's SNAP program. Republicans do not need access to taxpayer dollars if they're going to implement starvation to gain political leverage. To the best of my knowledge, no one voted them into office for that. I find that really hard to believe. So the government violates our constitutional right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The people who need assistance immediately are currently experiencing the denial of these rights. The rest of us experience watching the anger and suffering of our own people. Why would anyone want to watch suffering? It's apparent that Donald Trump and Mike Johnson and supporters do. By the way, yeah, this business about Republicans not willing to extend subsidies to keep healthcare costs low is also a violation of the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our people deserve affordable healthcare. Since they want to privatize everything, they're going to end up costing the healthcare industry, the healthcare market, dearly. I came up with a fabulous structure for our universal healthcare. Everything is paid for. Hospitals, clinics, home care services, emergency services, all have adequate staffing and improved wages. All necessary visits are covered. There's no copay. Pre-existing conditions are covered. Medication is available. Mental health education and services are paid for. Rehabilitation and recovery services are paid for. And this applies to everyone who opts into the universal health care. This next one, though, is on the Democrats. When it comes to the military, their wages should always be paid, even if materials are not. This is one of the ways we support our people. Members of the armed forces are our people. They also must be able to support themselves and their families, regardless of government shutdown. Kind of why they, are serving, aren't they? To serve our nation, I mean, we should support them. And it seems necessary now to enshrine into the Constitution requirements for Congress to fund necessary programs during government shutdowns. Doing so will create a structure for the process of preventing funding for necessary programs from lapsing or delaying, or even depleting. All wages should be paid for, at the very least, and members of Congress should not get their wages if the government is shut down. There are too many people in need. That is it's very frustrating to have to deal with this, I think, because SNAP benefits have really helped a lot of people for a very long time, especially during times when we've had um, a lot of struggle in the nation financially. I remember, growing up, and my mom was able to use food stamps. And at that time in the 80s, it was a paper form. So understanding how that system works really helps to give us a clear view of how our money is being spent. Helping other people with their struggles, with financial struggles, just to be able to put food on the table, that is something that I think that many of us, even though we already do it, we want to see more people helping out in this area. Unfortunately, it is because of the federal government withholding these benefits that we even have to do this in the first place. I really hope that this is resolved soon and SNAP benefits can be funded. If not, if the government continues to shut down, then we will have to seriously think about making sure that our local state governments do in fact withhold those taxpayer dollars. They are necessary for funding our people, for supporting our nation. And if the federal government isn't going to do it, then we really need to take control of the situation and make sure that it gets funded. All right, let's switch some gears a little bit. I have finished the proposal for the National Housing Construction Project. For short, you can call it NHCP. This proposal can reduce homelessness in our area of Vancouver, Washington to near 0% in 5 years. That's actually a realistic number. I cannot stress enough that I actually ran numbers with this. It is possible. If adapted properly to other locations with larger homeless populations like Seattle, it's a major metropolitan area, they could reach near zero homelessness within 7 years. If the nation adapts this plan to different areas throughout the nation that are experiencing homelessness, they can help reduce the overall homelessness population to near zero across the nation in 10 years. Have I piqued your interest yet? We could end homelessness, nearly end homelessness at least, with the plan that I am putting forth to the public. Excuse me. Many of you may be asking how. Well, I will tell you that it happens in 3 phases. All of us contribute. We have so many reusable, usable, and reusable resources to accomplish this mission. Yet no one has put forth a plan like this one until now. There's no reason to continue to allow homelessness to build in our developing cities, and there is no reason why we cannot accomplish reducing homelessness to near zero. If you would like to read the plan, you can view it in Google Docs, and I will have the link in the description shortly after the video. I hope that it is something that we can all approve of. I was surprised when I put this plan together and finished it about how well it flowed together and the circularity of the financial flow. See, the way it's set up, the funding for this project, it starts with donations, and an emergency measure is used to provide to provide a tax for this project, a temporary tax. It is a tax that expires. And that's something that a lot of taxes don't do, is expire. This one expires. It has to expire because this particular project builds into a self-sustaining ecosystem for our nation to permanently reduce homelessness to near zero. Across the nation, reducing homelessness to near zero really seems like a fascinating and hopeful project. This plan covers aspects that really need to be covered. And I encourage everyone to read this proposal because even though some of it you might not understand, the overall proposal itself is what builds into the self-sustaining ecosystem. It keeps homelessness down to near zero. It doesn't make room for homelessness to get out of hand again. And it provides structure during transition periods for areas where homeless folks may be currently residing so that they can have a place that they know they're not going to get kicked out of as long as they abide by set rules. This proposal covers those rules too. I really hope that I've piqued your interest with this, ending homelessness or reducing it to near zero. I know a lot of people have issue with a lot of the things that happen regarding homelessness, including trash buildup, which is a very big issue I think we can all agree on. Well, that is all I have for today. Thank you for your time, and may our path lead to peace and prosperity.